What's up, YouTube? We're bringing you another PM session. I am training on my own today. Aaron had to charge his car, and he is currently in his peak week, doing a little bit of a pump session today. He'll be here at some point, but I'm doing my PM session. Biceps first, then lateral delt. It's going to be a one cable station, one workout type of workout where I just have behind the back cable curls, and then I have cable Y raises. Both are gonna be mile rep matching. Gonna be quick, gonna be intense as fuck. I am currently in my one from fail week. So week 4 or 5 of this mesocycle. Before we head out to the Arnold on Tuesday, it's gonna be tough. I'm feeling it. Gonna get a good pump though. If you guys have any sort of requests or videos you'd like to see, I want to get back to kind of like, let's get some comments going, and let's try to get more content out that you guys want. I know we need a full day eating still. I'll do that either at the Arnold or when I get back from the Arnold, but I will be heading out to Detroit right after the Arnold, and we'll be filming a bunch of member section content for you guys for the RP channel, and sit downs, my top 5 favorite exercises, all kinds of, you know, fun little workout videos for you guys over there. That's after the Arnold. We got a week in Ohio, and then a week in Detroit, fuck. So I'm literally leaving Vegas when it starts to get to like 70, 80 degrees out here, and I'm going to 30-degree temperatures, which pisses me off because I moved to Vegas, so I didn't have to deal with the temperatures. We're gonna get after this workout. Again, it'll be quick, but we'll film every set, every mile rep, lots of talking between, hopefully. Here's my warm-up, guys. This is how I do it. I'm currently always training my biceps first because my delts are obnoxious and my biceps need more work. So if I can do them press, I do. We're also in the PM because I'll try to do biceps before any of my heavier compound stuff. It limits it a little bit. If I try to do it after, it just feels like fucking junk volume. I've done 2-a-days for probably 13, 14 years. Either 3 or 4 sessions a week, depending on the mesocycle, excluding some maintenance periods where I will reduce my volume such that I'm able to get all that in one session, because I limit the volume just to maintenance volume. And I'm training a little heavier sometimes. And then I'll have sprinkle lateral delts and biceps in twice a week, because like 6 to 8 sets maintains my delts, maintains my biceps, maintains the arm volume, the musculature pretty well. So that is how I've structured my shit for quite some time. We got 4 and 4 sets today. 4 and 4 sets, 3 other times a week right now. So 16 total sets for my biceps and lateral delts right now. That plus a little extra volume, honestly, because I'm doing some my reps. So I like training this way. Progress has been crazy. My arms have grown a lot this past mass, so I'm very, very happy with that. I think my peak MRV during my mass, while taking volume away from the lower, was like 12 sets of back per workout. No, it was like, yeah, 12, because it was 24 total working sets. And I did 2.5, so it was actually 10, 10, and 4, because I did 2.5 days of back. Peak mass volume for my biceps 4 times a week. I got it to about 22, 24 sets also. Lateral delts, I kept it at like 16 to 18. I didn't put them on the back burner. I still trained them really hard, but I didn't emphasize them because they don't need emphasizing. But biceps, triceps got up there quite a bit too, maybe 16 sets. And then leg volume was like on the back burner the whole time, to 4 to 6 sets for hams, and I had like 8 sets max for quads. So the contrast in my volume from my upper to my lower, because my lower has always been dominant. But now I'm spreading that volume pretty evenly, which is why I've taken it back down. Plus we're cutting. We're in a huge deficit right now. Volume's a little more spread evenly. maybe 10 sets of quads toward the end, 12 sets, 6 to 8 sets of hamstrings. Like I said, 16-ish sets total for the bis and delts. Same for the back, same for pushing musculature. So it's a little more spread evenly, like I said, and we've done the job. I think we've done the job of getting the upper quite large. That shot you got in there, Mario, with the dismos muscular, it was like super, like my chest looks full, like my arms are bigger. So I'm definitely happy with the progress, especially in the back. Because Mario just asked if I have an arm day. The answer to that is like yes and no. I do train my arms twice a week in the PM. So one of those PM sessions, 2 of them, are right after my push days, right? So I do push, do my chest, my front delts, whatever. I'm doing like a high incline press, let's say. So that's hitting a lot of the musculature already, triceps. In the PM, I'll do my tricep exercise for the day, 1 or 2 bicep exercises, and a lateral delts. So I have an arm and lateral delt session twice a week, but I don't come in here and just destroy my fucking arms, like 3 sets or 3 movements of biceps, 3 movements of triceps, 2 movements of lateral, whatever. It's split more frequency across the week, which is smarter. People are gonna be like, well, what? Sorry, it's like, okay, we got these conjecture here. Smaller muscle groups can take less disruption, so you don't fuck them up like that, or else you're kind of just regressing. But you still want to get the total volume per week. So if you can only do a certain amount of volume in the session, plus a certain amount of volume over the week, you take that volume over the week, you split it into certain sessions. And if you're training, especially you guys who train to failure all the time, you're not doing 10 to 15 sets of biceps in one session and getting a lot out of that, I promise. You're just not. So if you can take that, split it up. So I do, like I said, 4, 4, 4, 4. Sometimes it's like 4, 3, 5, 2. It depends on how fucked up my arms are, what the app has been doing, what the outer has been doing. Generally, I have like heavier shit in the beginning of the week, so I'll limit it to like 3 or 4 sets. And then I have like more intensity-based stuff. So like this is my last session of the week. 4 sets, but they're myRep sets. So when you're taking these things into consideration, the volume is split not as even, kind of like heavier, moderate, light, or heavy, light, moderate. Just depends on your recovery, how your biceps feel, how the pump was, all that stuff. Rate it on the app. The app will do the accumulation for you. This session, it might have me at 5 sets of lateral delts, whereas earlier in the week I had less. So I might have had more bicep, less lateral delt, and then more lateral delt and less bicep. I'm still training the biceps first because of my weak body parts, but the sessions might look like that, where it's like lots of delts, a little bit of bicep, lots of bicep, a little bit of delt, even split with these other 2 sessions. And that's for me with the 4 times per week frequency. You might have a 3 times per week frequency, which makes it easier, heavy, moderate, light, or heavy, light, moderate, depending on how you like it, or just lighter in the beginning of the week because you want to focus on the other musculature you're training, push if that's push, or if it's legs, if it's back. And then you do the heavier stuff at the end of the week where you're doing like lighter back stuff, etc. So you got to take all this programming into consideration. The app does that for you, which is really cool because it's like me and Mike are following you around. So, well, tricks of the trade there. Programming is very important. And whenever you're looking at this literature of like frequency and splits and things like that, they're not focused on anything else except for how often was this muscle trained? What did that growth look like over the course of 6 to 8 weeks? It's not enough time for you to really come to these types of conjecture type conclusions of like, well, it would make sense if over the course of my career, you know, the biceps are smaller than my legs. Why are we training them at the same frequency? It doesn't exactly make sense. It's a sports science application, guys. Everything has a conical approach. Everything can be, you can use conjecture from physiology, from biomechanics, et cetera, and come to what seems to work best for you. I'm not convinced that 2 times a week frequency for your biceps and your lateral delts is enough. I've trained my lateral delts 4 times a week for 15 years, and they're pretty fucking big, so. Still warming up. No sets just yet. Feel good. I do still like to get these out in front of me a little bit. When people do stretch curls, they tend to keep it back here. I could. I just like to still get the peak contractions in there. I've said this many times, but I'm not one to eliminate the full contraction of the peak just yet. I think you need to do both, emphasizing that stretch position. The whole excess calcium from the eccentric is completely bullshit. That has to be included with load, and actually ballistic exercises that are very, very heavy, those tend to excrete more calcium on the eccentric phase than emphasizing the deep stretch with lighter loads within a certain percentage of your 1RM plus the total reps you're getting. It's not going to happen, guys. It's very tough to have excess calcium leakage from the eccentric phase unless it is paired with like super heavy loads and extreme kind of like ballistic movements. So when you hear and see that argument online, it's just somebody regurgitating shit that doesn't actually understand what's going on in the concentric and eccentric phases of the lift. They're just kind of like saying that as like their final counterpoint of like, well, this is why we don't need to focus on the eccentric. It's like, man, okay, I see your point, but it's not exactly right. If you're doing like insane, which we already talked about anyway, if you're doing like insane 10, 15, 20 second eccentrics, probably unnecessary. I'm still honestly not convinced that that's gonna lead to excess damage that you can't recover from because the loads are lighter, they have to be. Focus on the eccentrics, 3 to 5 second eccentrics are fine. Really hold that deep stretch for a full second, still do the full range of motion, come up. Oftentimes you'll see that I don't lock out my leg presses and shit like that because you're not really, if you just squeeze the top of a leg press, well, there's not really anything going on, so you're like locked out on the leg press like this. What's really happening? But with like a curl, fuck it, squeeze. Squeeze that peak contraction, come down nice and slow, hold the deep stretch, squeeze the peak contraction. I am 100% fine with that. I think it's a good thing to do. I think working through the full range of motion is still really smart and going through the full joint range of motion. And there's a big motherfucker over there. The biggest worry of the day is they were driving an electric car in the United States to find a charging station.
This is why. Hey. Come.
At first it was hard to feel my biceps. I was like, damn, let's fuck. And then it hit me out of nowhere. My fatigue is very high right now, guys. Oh man, I forgot my fucking, my Fitbit. Took it off the shower last night. My niece named my veins.
Oh, for
She named my bicep one Wormy and my delt one Squirmy Wormy. And then she wants to go into the gym with me, my 6-year-old niece.
Hey.
Hey. Ready. Rip. Oh. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, man, this is exactly why I split them. You're not getting that kind of effort after a whole fucking push session, you know what I mean? You do your whole entire back and then you go to do curls. Like, it's like, junk volume's a thing. I'm not gonna include this in the junk volume category, but like, it's at least not full effort on those muscles. Especially for those guys who claim to like be trained to failure on everything. I've talked about this many times, but like training a movement to failure is not the same as training your muscle to failure. Like you can train curls to failure, but you've already taken your biceps out of the movement after like rep 10, because you started like this, and then it got a little hard, and it got a little harder, and what are your biceps like? It's a lot of hip hinging and it's a lot of fucking momentum for your front delt, but it's like, yeah, you're hitting your biceps still a little bit, but they're not getting taken to failure. Like you're cool with it. So if you want to maintain crisp technique especially, that's fucking hard when the other muscles are pumped. Like when I'm trying to do, even when I'm trying to do lateral delts after my biceps, I can feel it. I'm like, my biceps are getting, just from like being pumped already and being trained already really hard, they're getting some like second-hand stimulus just from like moving and doing lateral delts, especially when I got to grip something. So to do a whole back workout, whole bicep workout, put in some lateral delts, put in this, put in that, if you're not training properly. Like you're not stimulating that muscle properly. So that's why I love to split these up like this. And if you can't, and let's say you got to train like 3 days a week, full body every single day. One back movement, one leg movement, one chest movement, one delt movement, one tricep movement, one lateral delt movement. I've already said that. But 3 times a week, alternate the emphasis. Put push first one day, pull first the next day, legs first the next day, or mix it up however you want. And then if legs were first, put them last, et cetera, et cetera. Again, programming, guys, programming considerations. Aaron's looking dry. Last one. All right, that was it for biceps. Might use a lateral machine on this day, actually, not the cables. But I'm gonna check my app, log my reps, see what I did. Because this is the last session of the week, so I think that I took my elbows out of the movement, as in I didn't grip something. I do tend to run into, like if you are training lateral delts, biceps, things like that this frequently, the tendonitis can sometimes become an issue if you are doing like all lateral raises, let's say. Puts a lot of tension on your elbows. But if you do cuffed laterals, Y raises, machine seated laterals, some kind of cuffed upright row or something. Like you can take care of the issues before they ever happen. So I might have done a seated machine lateral just to press with my elbows instead of gripping. Yeah, so I did this is a harder lateral delt session today. 3 sets of machine laterals, and then 2 sets of cable rope face pulls with the mile rep match, where I hit them more like more for the lateral delt. So I'll do this, I'll put it eye level, and instead of just coming back, I go here, and I hit the lateral and rear delt at the same time, and I'll do mile rep matches with those. They're really fucking good. So I'll hit the machine laterals, you'll see what that looks like when I come back and do the cable rope face pulls.
You're serious about your goals, and the RP Diet app is here to help. It creates a diet for your specific needs, lets you choose your favorite foods, and tells you exactly how much of them to eat and when. Expert System AI guides you along to keep you on track to your goals. For less than $15 a month, you have one of the most powerful diet coaches in your pocket. Cutting-edge data science tailored to your exact goals. The future is here today.
This seat here, this machine has a history of falling. It's like when I go to lateral, I go boom, like click down. So I'm kind of scared. Definitely at that point in prep where like I got about 4 or 5 good sets in me, and then I'm just like, fuck this. That's where discipline comes in, right? You just fucking suck it up and do it. God, I love the mountains, man. Like the little snowy peaks. It's just so nice to look at. Growing up, this was like a fucking fantasy place, man. Like being in the Midwest in Missouri. You see the like Vegas in movies and stuff, or like New York City, or like to me a city was like Columbia, Missouri. It was an hour away from us. Population's maybe like 180K or something. So anytime like if I would go there as a kid, it was like, ooh, the city. So this is just a fucking dream. You can't be upset here. Well, you can be, but if you're miserable. Prep shit, prep thoughts. You get a lot more sentimental. You get pretty stoic, you get pretty mindful, you get pretty like, a lot of people, their emotions kind of go to the whim. I'm almost the opposite, man. Like I get super, but I guess that's kind of how I've associated mindfulness with myself in the long run anyway. Like I've always been stoic, but I've also been appreciative. You just remind yourself and like do the whole gratitude thing every day and remind yourself of what that feels like. Like you can be deep into prep and be pretty damn happy, pretty damn grateful, and have really cool like realization moments every day. But when you have them, you got to lean into them. Like this is a cool feeling. Mario was just talking about the entire concept behind mindfulness and as a spiritual practice. And I mean spiritual, not like religious. Because I like straight up, I'm agnostic. Like I'm not a God-fearing person. Don't believe in deities. But spirituality is important And that goes into like meditation. It goes into like even Buddhism, things of that nature. But mindfulness, and what Mario was just kind of like, me and him just had a conversation off camera. Your mind is constantly feeding you thoughts. So you're having random thoughts. You don't know where they're coming from. They're always happening. They're always occurring. It's hard to focus on one thing at a time. It really is. Try it. Try to focus on your breath. That's mindfulness, right? Try to focus on where your breath's starting, where it's ending, and see how long you can do that. See how long you're actually in the breath without thinking about what you did earlier that day, or you got to fill up your tank of gas, or you got to, you got to take my daughter to school in the morning, and really notice how long you do this, like 5 seconds. But when you use that as like a practice, true mindfulness, the entire concept is thoughts are just things, and just like this is a thing. I can use this for my lateral delts, I could use that for my lateral delts. I chose this though. This is the thing that I chose. You can choose what you want yourself to focus on. And if your mind is feeding you negative shit, like Mario was just talking about, like, man, sometimes I'll wake up and I'm having these thoughts, but then I just gotta check myself and think about good stuff. That's the entire premise of mindfulness. Like, thoughts are things, you're in control, and they're just kind of like a fucking catalog of bullshit constantly going. And if you have like, oh, here comes a negative thought, fuck that. Positive thought. And you focus on the positive, and that's the thing you focus on. You're gonna be a happier person, and you're gonna have less bad days. And let's say you're having thoughts of like, man, I messed up that one time, and I feel like I'm a bad person. Fuck that. Now it's time to think about some good shit you've done and what you can do going forward to be better. And that's what you focus on. That's what you focus on. That's mindfulness. And when you can master that, again, especially if you're like doing some hard ass shit in life, going for that new job promotion, going deep into a contest prep, digging for like a powerlifting meet, going on a fucking triathlon, and just like the mundane normal shit, like truly being present with your family, with your kids, with your siblings, with your wife, with your husband, you get a lot better at those things. So give it a try, man. Look up mindfulness. It's really kind of like, in the practice I use, focusing on the breath and realizing what's happening, because you're gonna have a catalog of thoughts while you're trying to focus on where your breath's coming from. You're gonna feel little weird pains in your body. You're gonna think about your feet moving. You're gonna think about things you were doing later in the day. But if you can truly nail down, like focusing on the breath, you become a lot better at managing your thoughts and focusing on what you want to focus on. And that's the entire premise. So it's an amazing spiritual practice. I've done it since I was like probably 13 years old, legitimately. I'm used to having cameras in my face. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Get that shot. So this guy came in and he did a round through the gym first because he thought I was here. He wanted to meet, and he said he learned a lot from us, good shit. But he just did something really cool, which literally goes along with this video. So I'm just gonna let him talk, let him pass that torch of knowledge to people. Do you mind being on camera? I just want to give you the opportunity to pass knowledge on to people. It's your leg day. You did delts first.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell people why you did delts first? Here, go ahead, grab it.
If I were to do legs first, I'd have zero energy left in the tank. And like I was telling Jared earlier, side delts specifically have been a weak point for me. So I'm going to hammer them hard first before I tackle legs.
Yeah, I love it.
And I mean, like,
I love it. No,
now
it's
it's
weak
working.
point anymore. I can tell you that, man.
Thank you, dude. That means the
you're
world.
Great, man.
Thanks,
That's cool. Fuck, no, I just saw it. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know it was your leg day. You told me you were going to train delts today, and I was like, oh. He just said something really cool. We're literally talking about this exact concept in this video. So I was like, I'm gonna let him
I learned
pass that torch.
Learn from the best, you know?
You're doing now. You're passing the torch of knowledge. This is all it's all about.
Oh yeah.
Fluffy bullets on me.
So follow me on Instagram, Christopher_X _physique.
Yes.
First competition, April 26th in Anaheim. Men's physique. And yeah, man.
You signed it, dude. It's gonna be cool. You guys will hear me say this a million times. Everything we do with RP and where our passion lies, and this is why we don't get caught up in like the shit posting, shit talking crap, the Greg Doucette's of the world and people like that. My name could be completely not tied to any of this shit as long as like the legacy of what we're doing lived on and pushed forward. And that is quite literally just helping people realize that you can and you should, especially for best bang for your buck, try to use as much of this science shit that people refer to as possible. Learn the teachings, pass on the teachings. Ultimately, that is it. It's just like everything has a codical approach. Everyone has a worldview. You should constantly be refining that worldview. You should constantly be trying to become a better person. And it's the same thing with like learning. Nobody has the truth. We have things that are very close to the truth when it comes to all these concepts. And the people that are the closest are kind of like collaborating and pulling each other up. It's like, oh, okay, you were right about this concept, but this little thing here, the truth's over here, you're here, I'm about here. Let's just kind of like move closer. I don't care if my name's tied to what we're teaching. I do know that what we're teaching is fairly fucking accurate, and there's a lot to learn from people like myself, people like Dr. Mike, people like Aaron, people like 3DMJ, people like John Jewett. Like, we're all collaborating, man. We're all trying to help each other get better, teach what we do know, the most up-to-date science, and then just have people refine that and live on and live on and live on and keep going. So if you can pass that torch of knowledge, that is the number one thing in my book that I want to leave behind. I don't care if my name's tied to it, as long as what we are teaching continues to be refined, retaught, and made better by people who are trying to learn and become better themselves, especially when they're fucking good people. So like that kind of shit, I love it. I love it. Like, he's learning things. He's figuring out what works for him. He took one of the concepts we taught, he carried it on. He's like, damn, yeah, it's really helped my delts blow up, and I'm just gonna pass that on to people myself. So like, legitimately, guys, as Aaron always says, be a good person. Be a good person. Continue to teach others. And at the end of the day, we're all gonna win together. It's gonna be great.
Or else.
Or else.
I'm where sparkling.
Yeah. I'm gonna finish up one more set here, and then I have 2 sets of face pulls, and we'll be done. I don't like the cable attachment. I use like a straight bar or a curved bar, and this helps me get the movement down a little better, honestly. So I'm trying to keep that cable such that it has tension still. So you'll see I go like this, and I will keep my shoulders elevated, and I don't drop down here where there's no tension. So I step back, keep that tension on the delts the whole time, stretch forward, back, and I keep it here. I'm trying not to let it go like this. Yeah, because like here, there's not really a lot going on, but when I lift it up, there's that tension. Two more. Oh my God. Well, that was the session. And I think we had a pretty good one. Lots of philosophical shit. Lots of teaching. Lots of passing on the torch. That was great, guys. As always, I appreciate y'all watching. If you ever find yourself at the Dragon Lair, come say what's up. It's always a pretty good highlight of my day. I love meeting people and seeing the impact we have on the industry. Seriously, it's fucking cool. No matter how tired I am, how deep into contest prep, it can put a smile on my damn face. So yeah, even though I look like an asshole, if I'm in here dying, even if it's between leg press sets, and I'm a week out, and they're thinking, should I say hi or not? Please come say hi. It'll make my day. But like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow all the good people in this video. Keep singing Mario birthday wishes. People thought it was Mario's birthday, so we're just gonna keep it going. Every day is Mario's birthday. Say happy birthday to Mario. And I'll see you guys next time.